Hey guys, special episode of the vlog today. In my previous videos, y'all have been asking me a lot of questions that I don't know the answers to. Because if you've seen those videos, then you would know that I didn't build this shed conversion. I'm just renting it and currently living here, and my dad is actually the one that built it. And I hope that if you ask me a question that it gets answered in this video. My dad has decades and decades of experience in electrical, plumbing, just general construction. And I think he has a lot of useful info to share. So if you've seen one of my other videos or not, be sure to stay tuned because you might receive some helpful tips and info on a future tiny house build or maybe the one you're currently working on. All right, without wasting any more time, let's get to the video. My first question would be, what gave you the idea to convert sheds to tiny houses and to use them as rental properties?
Well, we saw a few of them out there, and so we went inside and took a look at them and said, okay, we can do this. Plan to have at least six out here. I've already run the utilities for 3.
And so if you didn't get it from one of my last videos, this is the first tiny house that he's built, and I'm his first renter, I guess you could say. So you plan to rent all these, right?
Probably. We may sell 1 or 2 of them just to recover some cost. But that's in the future. We'll see if we sell any of them or not.
So like building it and then selling it and they take it off the property? Yeah,
these are built on skids, so I can just have a guy come out and pick it up and take it wherever we need to take it.
So what made you choose the foundation? Because it's just on bricks, right?
Well, with these, you have to first make a pad. So how I made a pad was I took gravel screenings, which screenings are kind of like a very small crusher gravel. Most people have screenings in their areas, and screenings pack down pretty good. So what you want to do is build a pad. You can build it out of dirt, but it's better to make it out of gravel screenings or small crusher gravel, and then you set your bricks on top of that, on top of your pad, and then you can level it out from there. But it's always best to make a pad and make it pretty level before you start setting anything. It's a lot less expensive just to set a soft pad down. That's what you would call that, is a soft pad. And it's a lot easier. Most people can do a soft pad themselves. If you start dealing in concrete or something like that, you get to a big expense. So a soft pad is a really cheap way of doing it, and it's a good way of doing it too.
And it's movable, right?
And it's movable.
And out here you didn't have to get any kind of inspections cleared, right?
They'll come out and see what we've set on the property. We live pretty far out. We only have like one neighbor close to us, and the county will come out and see what we set on the property. Like if you build a building on the property, they're going to come out and survey it and see how many square feet you've taken. And so they've been watching me from the very start. They come out and visit me. The county comes out to visit me every now and then. They were really impressed with the first one, and I told them the second one would be done in 2019. And so I'm sure that he's been watching me since the first of the year. In the city limits, all depending where you're building it, because all towns are going to have a little bit different way to get permits. Some are real strict, I've noticed, and some are not. Let's say if somebody was building it in Tulsa, they would have to get a permit. I'm pretty sure they would have to get a permit to set the building on the property. And then they would more than likely have to get a city permit, and then they would have to hire an electrician, a plumber. They would have to hire all those things out. And when you start hiring all those things out, everything starts getting real expensive. I've been doing this for so long, and I have so much experience in so many things. I've been a contractor for over 30 years, and so I can save myself a lot of money by doing all of it myself. I haven't hired anything out. But if you're going to build it in the city limits, you need to check on your permits and things like that, because you don't want to start building something and then have to back up, start tearing it apart because they want to see something that you've already done.
I think a lot of people have to do that, don't they?
That's really, you could really mess up. if you buy property, the best thing to do is to check on utilities first. Make sure, see where the electric is. Call the electric company and see what it's going to take to get power to that building. Also, see what it's going to take where the water line is. How far is the water line from the building? Because if you buy a piece of property and you have to have a water line brought in several hundred or 1,000 or 2,000 feet, you're going to have a lot of money involved. So check on the utilities first before you buy anything. And then, of course, if you're going to be on sewer, like this out here, we could show you if we were outside. This has a septic tank and lateral lines. All three of these tiny houses will have a septic tank and lateral lines. You need to check, you have a perk test and things done on the property. Don't buy anything until you have checked on all the utilities. And then if it's too much for utilities, go find another piece of property, because you could get into a lot of expense. We have had to put utilities in for all 3 units. And so that was a cost that I had to absorb at the start on this one. So this one is a 16 by 36 with a little porch on it. The one next to it is a 14 by 40. So they're about the same square footage. They're going to be right around 400 square feet on the inside, plus, with the loft. These are going to, from beginning to end, it looks like these are going to average a cost of about $30,000 from beginning to end. And I'm also averaging in the utilities on that. The utilities have all been done by me. The electric company told me how they wanted it done. I had a perk test, and so I don't have a lot of expense on utilities either. So they're averaging about $30,000. Now at the end, I'll be able to tell you a little bit better. This one is a super shed, and I had it built. I wanted to see how good those guys could do. I'm old enough to where I don't really want to do the outside. If I can buy the shell, I'm going to buy the shell. I'm seriously thinking about building one from the ground up, so I can make it look a particular way. But I really don't want to, because it's just too much time, and I have a business on my own, so I don't have a whole lot of time, so I try and buy them as a shell. Best thing about this one that we're in right now is this one has 2x6 rafters, which makes it better to insulate the ceiling, and it gives it better insulation, and it's stronger. The one next to it has 2x4 rafters, so it's not built quite as well as this one, but they're both built very sturdy. There's fiberglass, fiberglass insulation. I thought about foam, but I don't want to do foam. If there's somebody out there that wants to do foam, more power to you.
Is it better or worse?
It's actually a tighter insulation, foam is, but I don't want to do it. I kind of like a little bit of control in the fiberglass insulation. I know foam is better. Somebody's out there right now saying, well, you should have done foam because it's better. Well, you do foam, and I'll do fiberglass. But it's either way, just insulate it good, the best you can.
And you did the walls and the ceiling?
Walls and the ceiling are all insulated. On this one, the floor is not. So I had to, on the perimeter of the building, it's all, the whole perimeter of the building underneath is closed in. Because we do have cold winters here. So.
And it's pretty windy.
Yeah, and it's pretty windy.
I've been in here a month and a half, and it stays warm really well. There's been a few nights where it gets down into the teens, and it gets down into like the low 60s in here, even when the heat's on high. But the floor gets kind of cold on your feet is the only thing with it not being insulated. Yep. But I mean, it keeps warm pretty well. I'm interested to see what it's like in the summer too. Yeah, it's insulated pretty well, and it's very quiet in here. Really quiet.
When you're in this one, it's very quiet. You can tell it's very tight. I wanted it to be nostalgic, of course, for a tiny house, and I like the pine. One other thing to think about when you do pine and you do wood, this one has wood siding on the bottom, and it's 1/2 inch thick. And then the pine on the top is also a 1/2 inch thick, and it's kind of the tongue and groove. It makes the building real tight. It makes the building a lot more sturdier. There's a lot of nails in this thing. That also helps create the tightness and it really helps to insulate it too, as thick as the walls are. Sheetrock is okay. It's quicker, it's faster, and it's cheaper if you're having to do sheetrock. There's nothing wrong with that. And I may do sheetrock in some of the other ones. I don't know, but I like the wood look. I like the nostalgic look of wood.
But you said the wood was probably more expensive than if you had done sheetrock.
The wood is more expensive. Yeah, I've probably got $2,000 or $3,000 in the walls in this house, but it was worth it to me. I'm saving money on everything else, so it was worth it to me to do that. And I did all the woodwork and all the walls in it myself. Now on these little houses, you got to be very careful in cold weather climate, and we have cold weather here. It can be 10 degrees one week and 60 the next. Right now it's 67 degrees. In 2 days, it's going to be 30. I've been here all my life. I've been here for 50-something years, and I realize what it takes to keep lines from freezing, water lines. Water lines are very important out here. And so what I do on all of mine is I configure the house to where the water lines are all on inside walls. And I'm doing that from experience of making mistakes, of having the lines on outside walls. And when you've got 2x4 walls, sometimes it's hard to keep those lines from freezing in the wintertime. So all my kitchens, if you look at this one and you look at the one next door, we may get to look at the one next door later, but if you look at the kitchens, all the water lines are inside. The only thing I have going outside is the water spigot, but it's coming from an inside wall. So I think we've already tested this one, and this one didn't freeze even when it was, how cold did it get? 16 degrees? 15?
Yeah, I don't think I even left it running either. So
okay, so I don't think anything froze. So this is gonna do good, and you always have to think of that, because I've seen some people put their kitchen in the front on the indentation of the front, which causes the wind. If you set that facing north, you're going to have some wind issues, and you may have some freezing issues if you don't deal with putting your water lines in right. So be real careful on how you put your water lines in. A lot of people put their kitchens in the front. I didn't want to put my kitchen in the front because I was more afraid of the water lines freezing. And I had this one built this particular way, with a corner the way it is. And so we decided to put the kitchen here in the center and on the side, of course. Now, if you look at the kitchen, like I said before, you're going to see all the water is in this wall. This is an inside wall. If you look at the bathroom, the water is in that same wall. This causes that effect of no freezing. So everything is on an inside wall and keeps from freezing. Now, that's why the kitchen is right here. That's why you see the kitchen.
The washer and dryer aren't on an outside wall either?
No, the washer and dryer are in this wall right here.
And then it connects to this over here.
Yeah, it comes. Actually, all the water lines are in the walls or in the ceilings in here. And they come down. Now, everything is PEX. We like PEX pipe here because PEX can expand and not burst. I used to do a lot of copper lines and galvanized lines back when I was younger, and that's ridiculous. That's just crazy. And I'm not doing them anymore because PEX is really easy. You got to buy the tools to do it. Man, I've done a lot of stuff in PEX, and I haven't gone back on any of it, and I don't ever have a problem with it. So PEX pipe is good stuff. He's got his air conditioner right here. This is a little mini split. Mini splits are real cheap. They're real easy to put in. Runs by remote, and they heat up, and they're heat pumps, so they heat up and cool real well. You don't have to really have anything else. It blows this direction. If you notice, you have the mini split here, and the direction of the air is this way, and so it's getting the kitchen, it's getting the bedroom, and it's getting the loft. That's why that mini split is sitting right there. So that is a reason. That is a good reason to have this kind of floor plan, because the air conditioning and the heat, it's going to take care of any issues that you have.
Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this more instructional video. If you'd like to see more of these in the future, be sure to let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up to let me know. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more tiny house content. I'll see you next time.